What's good? My name is Tish Collins. I'm the founder of Avahnti Apparel, and I pray that life is being kind to y'all. I saw the last video, y'all seen me riding around the entire city trying to sell these boutique items. We was able to get rid of them. So now we finna talk about the foundation that we are going to donate to and talk about the numbers and all of that. So real fast, because I got it on my laptop. Remember, the whole reason for me wanting to get rid of the boutique items in the first place is because it no longer serves what I'm trying to do with my clothing brand. So really fast, a real fast recap. So I started my clothing brand in 2019. When I started it, I had my personal apparel pieces, but I also had boutique inventory, jeans, dresses, jumpsuits, rompers, or whatever the case is, because my mentality then was I wanted to have something for everybody while having my clothing brand pieces. That just no longer worked for me. It was no longer part of the idea. It stopped making sense. Okay. So I priced all of the boutique items for $10 or less on my website. However, they was just not really moving at the speed I needed them to move to. So I found a solution to my problem, all right? Because I know that Plato's Closet, Uptown Cheesecake, Crow's Mentor, places like that, they will buy your clothes from you, and all of the clothes is brand new. So that's why I went ahead and did that. And if you want to watch that video, it's the video that I posted right before this one. All right. Now, from the boutique items, the plan was always to give a portion of those proceeds specifically to a mental health or suicide awareness foundation. All right. So that's what we're about to get into right now. All right. So let's go ahead and get right into it. All right, so from selling the boutique inventory that we had, we ended up getting $482 for that inventory from Plato's Closet, Clothes, Men's, all those places. All right, so that total came out to $482. From the people who actually ordered from my website, that total came out to $163.08. All right. I also had a couple of orders from TikTok Shop that came out to $12.73. All right. And then there was also a couple of people who left a tip on my website. If you left a tip on my website at this particular time, those tips came out to $28.35. All right. Now, the total from selling the boutique inventory from my website, from TikTok Shop, and from the tips, that total came out to $686.16. All right. Now, for me personally, I am going to put up $50, but then I'm also going to match the tips. All right. So that put me putting up $78.35. All right. Now I was trying to figure out if I wanted to give 15% or if I wanted to give 20%. Now, y'all keep in mind, okay, in case y'all not scoping the scenery out, okay, my business is extremely small. Okay. I'm talking about we ain't even getting consistent 2 orders a month. All right. So let's keep that in mind. All right. When I throw out these numbers, okay. So I was thinking 15% or 20%. Now, if I do 15% of the proceeds from selling the boutique inventory, the orders on my site, TikTok Shop, the tips that were left, if we did 15%, we'd be giving $102.92. But if we did 20%, we'd be giving $137.23. Now, when we do 15% plus what I'm putting up, it comes out to $181.27. And then if we did 20% plus what I'm putting up, it'll be $215.58. All right, so I'm gonna go with 15% plus what I'm putting up. So $181.27, but I'm gonna just round it up and make it an even $200. All right, so we're gonna be giving $200 to the foundation. Now, the foundation that we're going to be giving the $200 donation to is going to be the Boris Lawrence Henson Foundation. All right. Now, when I was looking up, I looked up a lot of foundations. This is just the one that my heart was set on. I was trying to get some opinions from the people, but just where I am with my business right now, it's like it's not a lot of communication, a lot of feedback. All right. So I just had to go based off of kind of like what set well in my heart. And then I also got a couple of other opinions, but we all ended up going with the Boris Lawrence Henson Foundation. All right. So for BLHF, I just love that they are all about mental health. I love that they're all about uplifting. I love that they aren't afraid to talk about the thing, especially when we're talking about the Black community. They are not afraid to put it on the forefront that like mental illness is real. Mental health, fighting suicidal thoughts and going through suicidal ideations, like all of these things are very real. You know what I'm saying? So I just feel like they really connect with me as a person, but also as far as what my brand in itself stands for. All right. So that's why I'm going with them. But yeah, so if y'all want to check them out, I'll leave the link in the description. I'm gonna just put a screenshot up of the donation so that y'all can see I did exactly what I said I was gonna do. So all of that being said, I genuinely appreciate y'all for watching this video, and I hope y'all stay tuned for the entire journey. This was the last step of phase 1, donating to the Mental Health and Suicide Awareness Foundation. All right, we are tapping into phase 2. It's a goal. It's a goal from here. I don't know what's about the hyping. I don't know how it's gonna go, but we out of phase 1. That's what I'm hypiest about. Is we are finally up out of phase 1. Phase 1 was pretty much just me telling my story, telling my brands why, getting rid of every single boutique item, and trying to build a community for mental health and suicide awareness, and just build a brand community overall. And the last step of that was donating to a mental health and suicide awareness foundation. All right. So we got that done. Moving into phase 2. Phase 2 is still going to be me hitting my personal story hard, hitting the why for my clothing brand Might hard. But in this phase, now we got to work on getting rid of the Avahnti apparel pieces, the pieces that are embroidered with our logo, our signature pieces. Survivor Volume 1, definitely got to start hitting that really hard. Now that I got all of that out the way, I can focus on my focus. You know what I'm saying? So, yeah, we tapping into phase 2. I expect us to be in phase 2 for a little minute. However, y'all, it's like 6 phases to the clothing brand, but y'all got to stay tuned for the journey. I'm telling y'all, I'm praying it goes the way I need it to go. And I pray that we see it in real time. But as of right now, this is where we are. So we're about to be tapping into phase 2, but the next video will be phase 2, what we're doing and all of that, all right? So I love y'all deeply, and I pray that today in life is being kind to you. And if it isn't, then I pray that tomorrow and every day after we'll be all right. Y'all keep going, because no matter what, that's all we can do is keep going. And if y'all want to connect with me on a more personal level, because that is where my personal story is on my personal brand, then I'll link that in the description as well. But here's a screenshot of the donation, and I top it up with y'all the Sunday after next. And y'all, if it's a little late, just bear with me, okay? But I top it up with y'all later.